Two friends, two minds, and one love for Arsenal Football Club. You are now listening to the Cod and Two Minds podcast.
That's my jam. Woo! What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast, Cod and Two Minds, episode 9. E. Marshall here, and I'm joined today with my co-host, Fitty Mac. And today is Piss and Moan Monday. That's right. Vent those frustrations. Get them off your chest. Today we discuss Arsenal's 2-1 victory over Southampton. And we also discuss what an absolute joy it is to watch little Santi Cazorla play football. And Kaz's birthday, along with some other foolishness here and there. Anyway, enjoy the podcast, and thanks for tuning in. What's up, Big Fitty?
What up, what up, what up?
Well, you know, when they say 3 points is all that matters, that would be a perfect saying for our result on Saturday. We
gotta love it.
Yeah,
gotta love it. If you ever seen a big man running around his house in circles, acting like a 13-year-old girl, then yeah, gotta love it.
Yeah, it was. Arsenal beat Southampton 2-1. We eked it out. We got a late penalty. A lot of people on my Twitter feed were, kind of complaining, kind of angry about the way we played. But then there were a lot of Southampton fans on some of the other podcasts I listened to and the radio shows that were saying they didn't think that was a penalty.
I disagree.
Yeah, clearly that was a penalty, especially with the way things are going this year. They're trying to, clamp down on being over physical in the box on corners and things like that. But yeah, he had his shirt and he pulled him back. Giroud.
He had the shirt. And like you were just saying, I've seen the call being made more than once this year already in this young season. The pull was there. I even alluded to a little bit that they tugged on each other just a little bit, but Giroud let go. Giroud let go because he figured he was going to get a play on the ball, so he let go while the other guy, Fonte, continued to just pull.
Right. It was clear as day. You could see it. The reason why Fonte is doing that is because he's gambling. He's gambling on the time and situation of him making that foul. It's late in the game. It's in injury time, and the fucking ref ain't gonna make this call. He's just not gonna make this call. It's got to be what's going on in his head, or he would have played it much safer than that. There was shirt pulling, and he kind of pulled him back. And Giroud sold it, but that's what he's supposed to do. I don't know. It's a mute argument to me. It was a clear penalty, and Santi stepped up and buried it like a doctor.
Buried it. One of the first times. When I watched Santi take the penalty, I saw some people complaining about, wow, like I can't believe he just put it right down the middle. But
he sold it.
I think your best penalty takers, what they're really trying to react off of is the goalie reacting first. Right. And as he approached the ball, the goalie Foster wanted to make sure he got a good jump on it, and he committed early. So Santi saw just easy opportunity. Right. No reason to risk it. no reason to try to go, side netting or nothing. He saw it was open and he just drilled it.
Yeah. He, if you watch his little body, if you watch his little hips, he kind of sold that he was going to the right, and he kicked it down the middle, just like a little pimp. And I must say, it's an absolute joy to watch Santi play again. I've missed him. He had a few great little moments throughout the game that put a smile on my face. Every time I watch him play, I always say, "Look at that little bastard go."
He is so fun to watch play. He's a master with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
He is by far, in my opinion, the best two-footed player in Britain.
Easily.
Maybe in all of Europe, because you don't see anybody so committed to using either foot. It doesn't matter to him.
It's never happened. It's never. You don't see a right-footed player go take a corner with his left foot ever. You know what I mean? And put it on the dot. You know what I mean? In the middle of the box.
I've seen him do it a few times, and I just love like when he gets over to the corner and he lines up for his right foot. And then he just decides, well, you know what? No, I think I want to swing one in with my left instead. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's as an Arsenal fan, like I said, he is truly a joy to watch. I've seen him take set pieces with his left foot, like just strikes on goal with his left foot from a set piece, and you're just like, damn, is this fool left footed or right footed? You know what I mean? But it was great to see him back. I would say he was. I don't know, who would you give man of the match to? We're talking all this shit about Carzola, but I mean, Koscielny's goal was fucking. I mean,
wow,
jeez, where did that come from?
Happy birthday to you.
I mean, what a great goal. He reacted first and just nailed it, man. It was who would you give man of the match to?
It's just
between those two.
Clear cut for me. It was Santi. It's tough. It's tough when a defender scores a goal and doesn't give up anything major that you can't give it to him. But just there were so many periods of the game where Santi was clearly our best player on the pitch at the time.
Yeah,
it's Santi.
Definitely. I would give it to Santi too. He controlled the midfield. It was some great moments. He put a few moves on people to go around him. He was just very active. Koscielny though, I mean, he defended well, had a great goal. It was his birthday, so I always do, I'm gonna change my mind mid-sentence, and I'm gonna give it to Koscielny. Happy birthday, Cos. Hey, man of the match.
I wouldn't argue with you. I wouldn't argue with you.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, Fitty, it is Pissing Mode Monday. It is. It is the day me and you have set aside to kind of vent some frustrations, get them off our chest, so that we don't maintain the negativity all week and the bitterness, especially this week because we do have a Champions League game on Tuesday against PSG. So anything you want to get off your chest, anything you want to vent on Pissing Mode Monday, the floor is yours, big man.
Okay, so you know what? It has little to do with the team and more to do with the fans and their reactions and their immediate analysis of basically our two new players.
Okay.
I was disappointed that so many people wanted to write up a report card on the first day. It's one game. It's one game in. Why do we have to make a decision whether Mustafi was worth his money one game in?
Right.
And
just to add a little caveat to that, fresh from an international break, you know what I mean? Like he's barely been with the team. But Keep going. I'm sorry.
And then the other one was, the other one is Perez. Like, I wasn't thrilled with this game. You're not going to hear me say, "Oh, he had a good game or a great game," but I'm also going to be honest. And you know what? He didn't get much service all day. There may have been some times where he could have, as you pointed out to me, maybe drop a little bit deeper to receive some balls.
Right.
Which is kind of the Arsenal way, you know. You look at other clubs around the league sometimes, you don't see Aguero or Diego Costa coming very deep to receive balls. They're always pushing the center backs. You know. So I don't think, I'm not going to mark Lucas up and say, oh, he had a good day. But I'm also not going to ride him. I'm not going to ride his back and be like, "Oh my God, he was dog crap." Like,
right. The thing. Just to add on to that, that's a good piss and moan, because I did see a lot of that, a lot of debate. The people that wanted that Wenger to sign a big time striker were talking shit. And the people that were just satisfied with Wenger doing something were kind of defending him. I'm going to defend him by saying that it's going to go along with my piss and moan. He's one of my favorite players. I love everything about him, but I wouldn't say lazy, but just an uninspired, fatigued-looking Ozil is not going to help you if you're a striker and this is your first game, especially when you have Ox and Theo as your attacking options too, or the people that are going to be, doing 1-2s with you and slipping you the ball. Also, my piss and moan is basically, you rest Ozil for the Champions League match on Tuesday, and you play Alexis because he's the guy who can handle the burden of, a short rest, short time in between games. Whereas Ozil, you want to give him a little rest and make sure he's really fresh and in the mood and ready to go. So I disagreed with Wenger sitting Alexis and playing Ozil. I know they don't play the same position, but Alexis can slip right in there and do that. I felt he should have, and the performance of Ozil proved my point. I mean, he was not in the game at all, barely got on the ball. And to go along with your point, or the thing that you wanted to discuss as far as piss and moan, Perez is not going to be as effective if Ozil's not on his game. He's just not. Especially, like I said, when you have Ox and Theo out there just running around like jerk-offs, not really doing anything.
I agree. Ozil, I mean, he's everything to this team, but I think most people would agree with you when, you get the occasional game when Ozil is just tired. He's not doing his thing. You could see it in his body language, and you would hope that Arsene Wenger could spot that, know that coming into a game that this just ain't a day for Ozil.
Yeah,
we could have beat that team without Ozil.
Yeah, especially if you're Alexis had a longer flight, whatever. I mean, Alexis wants to play. He don't care. He wants to play, and I mean, it's early in the season, but whatever, dude. Whatever. Rest Ozil and play Alexis. That's all I'm saying.
Alexis comes from Chile, high in the mountains. Right. Anybody seen his chest? Anybody taking a look at his native South American chest? He gets supreme oxygen. He can handle this.
Completely barrel chested, full of ayahuasca, ready to go.
Ooh, ayahuasca! I like that.
Yeah, but so I mean that was my main thing is once you make the lineup and you decide you're going to play Ozil, there's nothing really you can do. You just have to deal with him. You know what I mean? And you saw when he did bring in Alexis and Giroud, we kind of got a little more on. There was a little more flow to us, a little more offensive penetration, and we finally got that last goal. The chemistry was off though.
It was.
It was really off. There was no flow to the game, and it was a struggle for most of the game until he made those changes.
Yeah, and for me, once again, Ox.
Oh gosh.
So
yeah.
Some of your choices are just questionable. Flying some of those crosses, like made nice moves to get to a spot where he could swing a cross in or something, and just balloon the ball.
Yeah, he's on that Theo Walcott. He's just on the Theo Walcott decline. Where it's weird because I'm kind of always on Theo, but at the same time, I people get mad at me, but I like Theo. I think he can. I think if he gets a run of games and he gets his head out of his ass, he will score us goals. He'll get us like 12 to 15 goals. I think he can do it. My brother gets mad at me. People on Twitter get mad at me, but I really think he can. And I think this year you can kind of see there's a little hunger there. It's almost like he's got a contract coming up, but he wants to make sure he gets a good contract. Because
I would agree with that. I would agree with the fact that I do notice a little more hunger out of him.
Yeah, defensively, Ox is more of a liability than Theo now. Defensively, tracking back.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, you know what though? Seriously, if I was just putting out a quick grade or something on him, Theo gets a higher grade than me than Ox did in the game.
Yeah,
I know Theo didn't do a lot, but you know what? He made less scratch my head, try to figure out what the hell you were thinking there, plays than Ox did.
Yeah, Ox is lost, dude. You can see it in his eyes. You can tell by the hair, the S curl on top. He's just lost. He's at that stage where he just really don't know what's going on. And he just needs to stop thinking and start being the tremendous athlete that he is and just go balls to the wall and try to make things happen. Now, as I say that, at the same time, he needs to, like I said last week, have a little Ozil in his game where he's calm and composed when he does that. Right now, it's just, go for it.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Well, the one thing that's great is his burst. He's got a great burst. So, if he can learn how to burst into open space and then take a breath, because you know what? He leaves people in their dust. Burst, get into open space, and then breathe for a second. Take a look and figure out what you're going to do.
Exactly.
Not just be so rash about it.
Right. Yeah. We don't really have any other. We got Iwobi as an option, but I mean, when Alexis is back, he's going to play there, and it's clearly got to be Theo over Ox at this point. And at some stage, it's clearly got to be Iwobi over Theo. If Iwobi keeps pushing Theo, I think that might be an option. But right now, Ox is, he's just lost. He's a lost soul.
With the formation we run now, my choice would be, because we run that 3-1 up top, Alexis has to play on the left because of the way he cuts it in. So it has to be Theo on the right. Iwobi, I don't know if Iwobi just likes playing the left. He's built for the left. If he could play right, and he showed us he played right when he came in, on Saturday.
Right.
But I'm not sure if he could just do that on a regular basis. If that's an option. If it is, then Iwobi's my man.
Yeah. But I mean, right now, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Theo playing with Ozil and Alexis on the left. I don't have a problem at all. What'd you think about the like you were saying, the quick to judge the two signings? People judging Mustafi is just, as an Arsenal fan, that's just ridiculous. Like we always we always got a shaky ass defense. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, you know, how did he play bad based on what you've seen in the past? You know what I mean? Like, stop it.
Yeah.
He was fine. He's gonna be fine. Like I said, like I tweeted out, he can't be any worse than Purr and Gabriel. And if he is, then we always got the kid holding. So he, you know, that's just ridiculous. People getting on him, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take him to a minute to wind up to clear a ball like Purr. You know, if I had to watch Purr take 2 steps back and swing his long leg at a ball, and somebody on the other team get there before Purr could actually get it off his foot. Like, you know, just things like that. Like, Mustafi is an athlete. You could see it.
Right.
Like,
he's the same kind of build. He's the same kind of mold as Koscielny. My only fear is, you remember when we had Vermaelen and Koscielny? They kind of have that same style of center back, and it would kind of lead us in a, you know, both of them are aggressive. But I could kind of see Mustafi as a mix between Purr and Koscielny as far as, you know, I did notice him, you know, trying to read the game and getting into good spots. But him going forward with the ball at his feet, he looked good. You know, he's fine. He's fine. Anybody could be better than Purr and Gabriel at this stage, at Chambers. I mean, he's fine.
I mean, for me, the only knock I had was just some of the passes he tried to pick out were just off the mark.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's all part of getting familiar with your players. You know, he chose to go long pass on the ground a couple times where it didn't get through.
Right.
You know, so I mean, it's just, you know, those are things that will work themselves out. All I care about, which, you know, I told somebody on Twitter, was I like the fact that he tracked back. He's capable of tracking back where you don't feel like, oh my God, they're about to get behind him.
Speed.
Like, yeah.
He's got him and Koscielny both have speed now, and no problems whatsoever with Mustafi. And I feel Perez didn't look as good as I think he will be, because the players around, none of the players, if you're going to judge Perez, you got to judge Ozil on the day, or Ox on the day, and even Theo. None of them really had a good game, and that's going to be tough when it's your first game in a new league. So you know, all those people that were complaining and getting on them and throwing, you know, that's ridiculous.
And I mean, they shouldn't. Nobody should be misconstrued like I'm saying you don't have the right to complain. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hey, give the guys a break on their first game in an Arsenal shirt. Just the first game. Relax. Everybody relax.
Exactly. Now, we can all talk shit in January. You know what I mean?
You know.
Totally.
What I would hate to see is Arsene Wenger get to a point where he thinks, you know, it has to be Giroud every game, because you know how he could sink into, well, I have to start Giroud, and pretty soon Perez ain't getting any time. But I don't foresee that.
I don't know. I cannot call it. He is bright like the sunshine on Cali. he is a player that I like. No, but anyway, that's pretty much, you know, we got the result. Not a lot to piss him on about. I will piss him on a little bit about Jose Mourinho complaining about the refs after his team lost. He's a buster. I love the fact that they lost that game. Wayne Rooney should have been sent off in the first half. Yellow card accumulation. How he gets away with it, I don't know. But
what an absolute fucking nutter. That dude, I tell you.
It's just all ridiculous. And the worst part now is, like, he's kind of like garbage. You know what I mean? Like, he's not really even good anymore. And he's still running around cussing out the refs and hacking people and getting away with it. So
a shadow of himself.
Yeah. He'll be playing for the Los Angeles Galaxy here in no time. But Yeah, man. So let's see what else. We got Champions League on Tuesday against PSG. PSG have drawn their last 2 games. They're like in 3rd place in their league. They got a few injuries. So that's a game I feel we should win. Who knows? Hopefully Wenger doesn't play Ospina in goal.
Is it it's at the Emirates, right?
I'm not quite sure. I think it might be.
Is it in Paris? Paris Saint-Germain?
I think it's in Paris. I don't know. We'll figure it out. The
only thing with that is it adds a little pressure to Arsenal. If everything says, come on, man, you guys need to beat these guys, then, I hope we don't, play all weird and shit. Like, just go out there and attack. Just go get these guys.
Yeah, they still got quality everywhere. And they're just not playing good now. You know what I mean? To not be, they call it the Zlatan effect. He's not there anymore, and they're not winning games and beating the shit out of people like they were the last couple of seasons with him on the team. So, it's a game based on form, even though we didn't play great and we haven't really, got on a roll as far as the way we like to play and attack. It is a game we should win. But I mean, we'll see, Their coach, he's won like the last 3 Europa Cups, so he's great in European. He's great in European competitions. So, we'll see. He might outcoach Wenger on the day, and they might get a result. But either way, it's a group that I feel we should win. So we'll be discussing that on Thursday, God willing, on our next podcast. We'll be talking about that. Anything else, Fitz? What's been up? What's been going on?
I made it to the racetrack yesterday. Went and bet on the ponies.
How'd you do? You remember what is that movie? The one where the Italian guy falls in love with the black girl, Robert De Niro. Bronx Tale.
Oh, Bronx Tale?
The guy Mush? Like everything
mush.
Everything he touches turns to mush. You're mush. I know. How'd you do? Did you win? Did you come up?
I mean, I hit a couple races, so, it was a fun day. But, I gave him a little bit of money.
It was a fun day. A lot of whiskey.
No whiskey.
Anyway, that's good stuff. Me, nothing really going on. I don't want to talk about it.
Well,
but yeah, man. So I don't know.
I'm gonna ask you one thing to remember when you watch the game.
Yeah.
When before the game starts, when you see the lineup, I'd like you to just capture that moment in your head when you see the lineup that he puts out there, and tell me what you think when we talk about this on Thursday.
Okay, sounds good. Because
I think it's the biggest question going in is how does Arsene approach the group stages in Champions League? He always tends to start off slow with lineups, and I'm gonna put a bunch of kids in, and let's try to sneak a win out of this. I want to see attack.
Yeah, he's gotta play. Yeah, he made a mistake last year, and he's done it a few times in the past where we've thrown away a couple games with a little lineup switching, but yeah, he's got to go with a full squad, best players, throw them out there, and let's see what we're gonna do. What's your Twitter handle?
You can get me at Gooner Rush.
Okay.
At Gooner Rush.
So if you want to interact with Fiddy on Twitter, hit him up at Gooner Rush. I'm at E Marshall, and that's EMARSHO. And also, if you want to hit up the interact with the podcast, hit us up on at CITM Podcast, at CITM Podcast, and we're on Facebook, we're on everything. That's gonna do it for today's show. Also, please go to iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe to the show. All feedback is much appreciated.
Drop us a line, y'all. Drop us a line.
Yeah. Let us know what's going on, because the best part about all this is the banter, the back and forth, the debate. That's what makes all this great. So we'd love for you guys to participate. Even if you want to tell me to shut the hell up, tell me to shut the hell up. Yeah, please make sure you hit him up and say that, because here I'm trying to end the show. Oh, he just finished off another whiskey. Excuse me, scotch. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's show. Today's podcast. I've been telling myself all week, it's a podcast. It's not a show. Stop saying show, Eric. You can do it. You can do it. Anyway.
Hey, and don't say on that note, okay? Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it. And on that note, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for today's podcast. Thanks for joining us for Piss and Moan Monday. Remember the hashtag Piss and Moan, PISSN Moan. Hit us up so we can read them on there. And thanks for tuning into the podcast. I'm out. Fitty. Peace out, y'all.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Caught in Two Minds. Please head on over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review the show. All feedback is much appreciated. If you would like to contact the show, drop us an email at citmpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at CITM Podcast, at Gooner Rush, and at eMarshall. That's EMARSHO. The music in this podcast has been provided by Statics. If you like what you hear, be sure to check them out at staticsentertainment.com and follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Statics Music. That's STATX Music. Peace.